As the Israel-Hamas war enters its 76th day, the Israeli military has claimed that it's uncovered a major Hamas command hub in the heart of Gaza City. This underground network, according to the Israel Defense Forces, served as a critical conduit for Hamas to transport weapons, militants and essential supplies across the Gaza Strip. Israeli authorities have emphasized that destruction of these tunnels is the primary goal in their ongoing military offensive. Israeli leaders have vowed to press ahead with the 2-month-old offensive launched in response to a bloody cross-border attack by Hamas on the 7th of October that killed 1,200 people and saw 240 others being taken hostage. Israel's counter-offensive has devastated Gaza and killed nearly 20,000 Palestinians and driven almost 2 million people out of their homes. That's nearly 85% of the total Gazan population. The widespread destruction and heavy civilian death toll has drawn increasing international calls for a ceasefire. Israel's closest ally, the US, has continued to support the country, but in some of the toughest American language, Secretary of State Antony Blinken has called on Israel to scale back its operation. Blinken has said it's clear that the conflict will move and it needs to move into a lower intensity phase. Blinken further said the US wants to see more targeted operations with smaller levels of forces focused on specific targets such as Hamas's leaders and the group's tunnel network so as to minimize civilian casualties. Now there is also talk of a potential temporary ceasefire and a hostage swap deal between Hamas and Israel. Hamas's leader Ismail Haniyeh is in Egypt for discussions aimed at brokering a truce and securing the release of Palestinian prisoners held by Israel. The United States has acknowledged very serious negotiations concerning a new ceasefire in Gaza and the release of additional Israeli hostages. However, uncertainty looms as Hamas remains firm, demanding a complete end to Israel's offensive as a precondition for talks. Meanwhile, French President Emmanuel Macron has weighed in on the situation, cautioning against disproportionate responses to terrorism. He's urged Israel to reconsider its approach, emphasizing the sanctity of all lives and advocating for a halt to actions that harm civilian populations. Macron said, in strong words, fighting terrorism does not mean flattening Gaza. He said we cannot let the idea take root that an efficient fight against terrorism implies to flatten Gaza or attack civilian populations indiscriminately.
As the Israeli army was operating in the area of Hamas leaders in the heart of Gaza City, where the political and military leadership of Hamas is situated, we uncovered an area that served as a base for terror that were located in civilian buildings. With the operation of ground forces and based on intelligence we received, under the area of the leadership, we uncovered a branched network of strategic underground bases that served the leadership of Hamas. Ismail Haniyeh, Daif, and Yahya Sinwar, all of them use these networks routinely and in emergencies, and at the beginning of the war on October 7. They managed the war from there.
אנחנו ממשיכים במלחמה עד הסוף. היא תימשך עד לחיסול החמאס, עד לניצחון. מי שחושב שנעצור, פשוט לא מחובר למציאות. לא נפסיק את הלחימה עד להשגת כל המטרות שהצבנו. חיסול החמאס, שחרור חטופינו והסרת האיום מעזה. אנחנו תוקפים את החמאס באש תופת, בכל מקום, כולל היום. אנחנו גם תוקפים את עוזריהם, מקרוב ומרחוק. כל מחבלי החמאס, מהראשון עד האחרון, הם בני מוות. יש להם רק שתי אפשרויות, להיכנע או למות.